Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
That didn't sound convincing.
No, not today.
Not today.
Oh, no, sorry. It's my camera. I'm trying to, when you try to multitask and it does not go according to plan. Like, I got this. I know how this is gonna work. I ain't got it. I don't know how this is gonna work. I am so sorry. I think I got confused last week.
Mm,
We were meeting on Thursday. I came for Thursday.
did you? No, it was Tuesday. Yeah, it's remember we said when you get those emails, it'll let you know. Like you'll get an email every time we have class.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that day I forgot to check my email. Everybody in the house was sick. I was like, oh man, come on. Y'all all got cooties. So
Everyone's going around. Everybody I have talked to this week,
yeah,
they're sick, their household is sick. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm praying it does not come this way.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't think that's not gonna happen. My mom was talking to one of her doctors, and he was stating that she was stating that there are several viruses and bacteria that are going around.
That's
And
what I heard.
I think it's even more prevalent, partly because out here in California, at least, it rained.
Mm,
So it kicked up everything. Normally, we don't get this until like late April, early May. April showers came a little too early. And
yeah.
so my son is an asthmatic, I'm an asthmatic, my mom's an asthmatic. So we always like, really?
And then
This
your
is
son brings the cooties home because they're like little sponges. They bring everything home
we
with
not gonna talk about that because I'm in my feelings. Because my mom was like, there was this kid, he was sick. And I was like, oh, so they sent them home. They were like, no. So my mom is in the classroom, like, where that kid sit? Where my grandson sit? Okay, keep them apart. That
yeah.
didn't work. He's literally been home almost all week.
Oh
I'm
man.
like, look, he doesn't, I know his asthma, if it gets bad, he'll end up doing the nebulizer, and I'm going to end up having to fight with him. I ain't got time for that. So I was like,
Yeah.
we'll just keep you home. We'll just,
Yeah.
you just come on, boy. And he slept. That's how I knew he was asleep. I mean, that he was sick. He slept all day. I was like,
That's what they do. Yeah.
yes, but I don't want you to be up all night though.
Yeah.
That was the part two no one told me about. I was like,
Well, I
so
know
today I was like,
she's sick. She's real like just almost like a zombie. And I'm like, oh, she's really sick because she's any other time she's bubbly and just big, full of personality. So when she's like sleeping and she's just quiet, I know she's sick. She'll sleep the whole day, but she'll sleep the night too. Like she gets it in.
no.
He
Can
doesn't
I please have that blessing? He was up at 2, like, hey, and I'm like, oh,
really.
all your energy came back. So then we were running, like at 2 o'clock. My husband was like, what are you guys doing? I am wearing him out. We were running around the house. We was playing hide and go seek. I was like, I need at least 3 hours
It's
before
a
my work day starts. And so he was like, are y'all really like everybody knew like in 2 hours? Then he was like, I was
oh
like,
man, you go ahead on, mom. Oh my gosh. I don't
well,
know.
because the asthma, when you give them the asthma medicine, it gives them that big burst of energy. And if you don't wear it out, in that small amount of time, it keeps giving him small little bursts. And I'm like, no, come on. It's bedtime, bro. It's bedtime. So he's finally like, his voice is now normal. He's
Good.
back to his little cranky self. So I'm like, okay, you're good. Here you go, teacher. She was fine. I was like, I hope you liked your 2-day break.
These teachers be like, these parents just send them.
Man, I don't care. Yep, that's the one. I'm her. I'm going to pass you the buck like it ain't nobody business. Here you go. I did watch part of last week's video. I'm a little bit behind. I didn't think life was gonna get that chaotic. But I have made sure that I have set aside time this weekend to get caught back up. Because I
Okay.
did not do any of my homework.
Okay. So where are you at this point?
So looking at my homework, I started working on my pitch.
Okay.
That was not my funniest moment. Because it came at a perfect time because I have to do a presentation, but it's a recorded presentation, which your introduction is pretty much your elevator pitch. So I was like, she be getting on my nerves when all this stuff be trying to come at the right time. Like, this is not the time that I need you to come. I don't want to do this pitch.
When would you like it to come, Miss Lady?
But I was like, man, I think it just made me realize, like, oh, you probably should start your presentation. Like, I've been dragging my feet. But so I've been working on my pitch. So I had to ask myself some hard questions. In the sense of how can I simplify the process, knowing that I'm, knowing the work and course load that I have. Do I need to like, even though I may have 3 packages, do I need to offer them all at once? Can I like sprinkle them out? So I had to come to terms with, you could have all 3, but in real layman's term, if people were to come, would you be able to manage all 3? And the answer was no. So I was like, okay, now that you know that part, which is the one that is more manageable for you and your lifestyle as of today, not tomorrow, not 3 months from now, as of today. So I revamped, and instead of calling it a VIP day, it's called implementation day, where it's a strategy call. They get on it's a 3-hour, they can break it up into 2 calls, because most people, if we're honest, they really can't handle 3 hours unless it's like a problem. You're asking these questions, most of them, the attention span an hour and a half, you're still kind of pushing it. So they get a 2-hour call. They get a 3-hour call. They have to use them within 10 business days. But what happens is that first call, we get on there, we talk about a problem, we work through the problem, they have to then go implement, and then they get to come back. And that second call is, this worked for me, this didn't work for me, I'm still not quite. It's kind of like that follow-up call. Instead of it being an email, it's like, if you have any extra touch bases, or if you're still struggling, because let's be frank, most people, they struggle. If you're doing a business plan on your own, you're gonna have some questions. Even if you're trying to create your workflow, you're gonna have some questions. Like, I love that people create docs, but what I realized in cleaning up, doing my digital detox, is a lot of times you get documentations and you get a video and it helps, but they don't get the opportunity to really ask like those questions that pertains to them, that are personal to them, to help them move the needle along. So yes, they're watching your video, they're watching your course, but they can email you. But like, how many people really don't email you? Because the first thing their mind is going to go is, this is a dumb question. They're going to try to talk themselves out of it. They're going to go look at YouTube, but they're not going, if they're in the midst of a crisis, they're in overwhelming at this particular point, they need somebody to help them, guide them through solving that problem. And so I did some research. There's not that many. One lady does something similar. She calls it an intensive call, but she does it for blogging and marketing. I would be doing it for business foundation and operations.
Okay.
Because it is, whether people want to admit it or not, it's the house of your business. If you don't have your operation and if you don't have your business, I'm not saying that it's always going to be 100% perfect, but if you don't have a guide on where you've been to where you're going, you're always going to be throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that it stick. And we all know that some of it will stick, 95% of it won't. And so then you're frustrated because while it is trial and error, how are you keeping track of what didn't work? Or did it not work? Or did it not work at this moment because you wasn't prepared? And so you didn't see the blind spots. So you just threw out this idea, but it was an amazing idea. It just, you pick something for winter in the summer versus realizing like, oh, people are not in that mindset. Like we all know January comes, everybody's in the mindset of time to get my goals. I'm ready for my goals. They're all excited. Now we all know that by quarter two, half of them people is like, I'm over this. I don't want to do this. By summertime, they're like, I don't want to do no work. I want to well oil. And then by December, they're like, I'm over. It's break time. I did my 52 weeks. I just want to, but if you don't know the cycle, you'll pick goals in summertime and people are like, I don't want to talk about goals. This is probably when you should be looking at, okay, you did some things in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
What worked for you? What didn't work for you? And how do you want to, how do you want to change it? At this point, they're either looking at growth or like, maybe I need to go back to the drawing board. So I think a lot of times, so that's where I decided that I'm just going to focus on that for the time being, because while it's time consuming, it's not as time consuming as saying harassing somebody to get them to start their business plan, because that's where I'm at. So the one that paid to get her business plan done, I'm still waiting for her to do her part.
Really?
Yep.
So when did you send her the business plan? Because this was a minute.
Every Friday she gets an update. Hey, just checking in, seeing where you're at in the process. Do you need any guidance?
Is she responding?
I get a response. It's always, oh, well, 1, 2, and 3. It's always a reason why it had. And this is just the beginning part. The beginning part. We haven't even got to the meat and gritty. Like we haven't even got to like the nook and cranny. We haven't even gotten past, let's talk about your business.
So when did you send her the info, her stuff?
She got her stuff like mid-February.
Mid-February.
Okay. But in my contract, I put you got until April 30th. Because I didn't know that she was going to have a surgery. So I was aware of that. So I gave latitude for that. But I also know that she's hosting a webinar. I mean, she's hosting an event, and I understand that as well. But at the same token, at the end of April.
Yeah, that's not your problem. Sound bad, but that's not your problem.
No, I was gonna ask you about that because you know me. I'm getting, I'm one of those ones like, oh, you give me this app store. And I was like, okay, what would Tyra tell me? She'd be like, that's a you problem, not a me problem. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I
mean, you're sending her weekly reminders. She has a reason for everything. You haven't even gotten to the meat of y'all working together, February, March, April. So that's what, 3 months, 2 months?
It reminds you, at least for this one, takes at least a minimum of 6 weeks. Because if I'm giving you, I give you the form, you give it back, I fill it out, you give me some tweaks. But like marketing is not like, oh, you plug it in. Like I still got to do some research for that. So you're not giving me wiggle room at all. So I'm like, okay. I was like, but that's what made me really consider going back to the drawing board. As far as like, how did I want to play this? Because I'm not gonna lie, even though I knew it wasn't a me thing, I did get a little discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little discouraged, and I was like, okay, well, did I do something wrong? Did it? And I mean, I made it simple, Tyra. Like, it is a Google form. Like, you literally, like, all you gotta do is answer the questions. I will send it over for you to see. Like, it's part one is a Google form. Like, this is not even the hard question. This is like, tell me a little bit about your business.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, Google form. You need to figure out so my thing is, if you can't figure out if you're not willing to do the Google form, then how long is it going to take you to do the financial piece?
To do the hard stuff. Yeah. And it's worth having that conversation, and putting a deadline on her Google form. Like, I need this Google in order for us to continue, staying on track with your program, because keep in mind, it ends April 30th. Put that in bold and underline it. Your program ends April 30th. And you are responsible for your success. How much do you want to succeed?
She's about to be mad because she's about to get part 2 of the invoice.
Yeah, how much do you want to, how serious are you in succeeding? Because it's not going to succeed if you're not putting in the work.
Right.
She has to do the work. You did your part. You're waiting on her for like a month, and then after that, now you feel like you have to accelerate and move fast and stuff like that. So you're not doing your best work because she's slowing down the progress. So just letting her know that, listen, I need this questionnaire back by by 4 p.m. Friday, so that we can move forward with the rest of our deliverables. So I need this done. Give her a deadline. Give her a deadline. And let her know we cannot continue. We cannot move forward without this. This is something that's required in order to move forward. And even if do you have another call booked with her? Any upcoming calls? No. Okay.
Partly because, so I know I need to be mature about this, but I wasn't. Partly because I was in my feelings, because like, I'm giving you unlimited Voxer time and I'm giving you unlimited emails. So my thing is, I'm not really frustrated at the fact that you're not doing it. I'm the lack of community. Why am I chasing you down? This is your business plan, not mine. You solicited my help, not the other way around.
Right.
But I feel like I can't want this for you. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think another part of me is a little bit irritated because I was like, ooh, I'm about to be able to have content, and I would be able to, write about it and use it to promote it. And I was like,
yeah. So you're riding a lot on this one client that isn't doing.
I was, but I think what I didn't realize is what I should have done is when I got off of the call with another potential client and she gave me the shout out, I should have used that for the intensive, because she called it an informative call, because it literally was supposed to be like, just a check base, see what I could do. And she loved it so much that like she literally got off the call and she shouted me out on Instagram. And so I should have used that momentum and I should have just packaged it from there. And so I think the problem is I am attempting, I repaid some of your videos, and I realized I need to just, for me, it is okay for me to start with one. So what I'm doing is, even on my website, instead of having all the others, is just having the intensive. Because really what ends up happening is most people, you get on a call, if they can't afford the attentive, then you have a smaller offer. But then if they're really excited and they're ready to go, then you have a bigger offer. And I think for me, my signature offer at this particular moment would be the implementation calls, because at this particular point, it's summertime and people either are trying to get ready, they're going into second quarter, and they're really wanting to be clear about a problem, a project, a concern. Some of them don't know how to map out a launch plan, and they need somebody, and they just need somebody to walk them through and figure out what tools they need. Is ClickUp best for me? Is Notion best for me? And then now that I realize that technically they don't need me to make their SOPs, because if I, offer them Tango or Stripe, they can kind of do it themselves without realizing that they can do it themselves, or even a Loom video. Because really all you're going to do is then that's what you get your VA to do. Okay, so I did this Loom video, or I did this, at this point, you could do a Loom video, put it in Otter, take it out of Otter, and have somebody just reformat it for you. That's your SOP. It's not that complicated, but it is complicated if you don't know where to start. Normally, most people just need a guide. And that's what I'm realizing, where for most business owners is they just need the guide. Like, there's so many shiny objects out there, and everybody's like, do this, do that, but no one's going to take their hand and be like, okay, if you've never done this before, sometimes you need somebody to take your hand and say, okay, let's walk through it step by step. Okay, so what system do you want to, what's your workflow?
Are you
what's the end goal?
Is that something
that's what the strategy calls are going to be? So we're going to do the workflow, the process, and then help them figure out what system is best for them.
Okay.
Because for me, I tried ClickUp and I was like,
yeah, it's
no.
Yeah, and that's good. You got to figure out what works best for your business model, and because not all programs are going to work for what you're doing. So for your implementation call, that's your signature package. It's 3 hours. So are the 3 hours split up into 3 different calls?
Yes.
Okay.
Two 90-minute calls.
2 90-minute calls. And then
because they'll have action items between that first call and the second. So I will help you.
How long are you working with them? Is it 2 months, 90 days, 60 days, 30 days?
Just those 3 hours.
Just those 3 hours. Okay, so
for those 2 calls, so that first call we'll get on, we'll figure out what the problem is. I'm gonna create this weekend. My goal is to create the questionnaire that kind of tells me a little bit about their business so that I can research it. So they won't be able to schedule. They have to give me a 3-day window to schedule a call so I can do the research before we get on the strategy call, because you're paying for it out the gate. So during that time, what will happen is between the time of their payment, our first call, and that last call, they'll get unlimited email, and then they'll have Boxer days where they can Boxer me, they can ask me whatever question, or I'll have times where they can Boxer me, so that they do have, during that time of that process, they have unlimited time for me, with me. And then from there, but I'm trying to define, like, we will work through like one problem, and then I have to figure out what those, like, give them some examples so that we're very clear on, like, we get one problem, for example, 1, 2, and 3. And then from there, well, I guess let me ask you, should I give them for the last week after the second call, additional week of email or Boxer time for them to ask any follow-up questions? And I don't want to give them too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, the timeline. So you get on your initial call, your 90-minute call, you like that's the strategy call. So you work out the strategy, you give them the questionnaire before or after or during that 90-minute call.
During that 90-minute call. So that last 30 minutes, we will, after they get done telling me all the cries and woes, we will create a strategy. They will have some action items that they would need to do. And then if there's action items that they need me to do, I would do those action items. We would have a set date. And then they would need to make that second call between at least 5 to 10 business days in between that.
Okay, so within the next 2 weeks. So you have basically a 2-week follow-up call after your initial call, and that's the other 90 minutes.
Okay. So
Okay,
then you come back with that and it's like, okay, so I got stuck here. I got stuck there. I'm not quite for sure. I'm not quite for sure here. I'm not quite for sure there. Because a lot of times you may have a business plan and you might just need somebody to help you. This is what I started with and this is where I'm here. How do I change this aspect of it?
okay.
Or
So y'all kind of hash it out on that second
yeah.
call. Okay, and answer any questions. In between the first call and the second call, they have unlimited email and Voxer support to ask you. Okay, so after that second call, that's more of like the handoff call, like they're following up and asking questions and stuff like that. So after that call, you plan on wrapping it up during that call so that they don't.
Or should I give them another at least week of Voxer because they may, life happens. You have, sometimes you have follow-ups after, or you found a system that you really like, but now you don't know how to make it work.
Do it that way, then break up that 90-minute call and maybe make it 45-minute follow-up call to kind of go through everything, so that you're not adding another call. It's the same amount of time. You're just doing 45 minutes for the follow-up call. And then after that follow-up call, give them a week. They don't need another 2 weeks. I would give them another week to do, and that additional Voxer support. And then maybe that last 45-minute call could be the final call.
Okay, that makes sense.
Finalizing everything.
Because it's like a 3-week process. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because then I can do like 2 of those a week.
Yeah. So it'll end up being kind of like a 6-week program. You get your first call, then 2 weeks later, they get their second call.
Okay.
And 2 weeks after that is their follow-up call? No.
Yeah.
The 2 weeks they get so it's more like 5 weeks. So the first 2 weeks they get the initial call. The second week they get the 45-minute follow-up call, and then a week following that they get the offboarding call. And if they're still unclear and they still struggling, then you can always offer them to continue on. Would you like to get another strategy session?
Or we can just do a plan. They may just need a 30-day planning. So let's plan your 30 days.
That too. So if you have something like that you can offer them.
So Lightweight, I saw that on her page. She does a 30, 60, or 90-day plan, which I didn't realize. I did that for my agency, not knowing. And what I realized is I thought that I had to do the planning and the execution, but I don't. I just have to do the planning.
Yeah. That's less work for you, because they're the ones that's doing the work, and you're just there to kind of support them along the way. That's why it's an implementation. I wouldn't even call it an implementation call. Maybe
I didn't want to. Well, I was okay. In all fairness, I was going to call it an intensive call, but because that is the name of hers, I had planned to call it this way before, but look, I don't know which part is like if you take it, they can sue. Now her says 2 weeks implementation call. So I was like, and then I thought back with you and I was like, I don't know. So let me figure out a different name for it.
You know how many people have implementation calls, intensive VIP days? you know, those are
Look.
all, you know, regular words, so you're
Okay.
fine using those. Power hour, you know, discovery calls, those are all kind of like,
Right.
you know, the same, so.
Okay. Look, I didn't know if it was universal because I sure did go and take me an intellectual property class. Like,
If you wanna, you know, you customize it, you know, it could be the, you know, Jalace implementation.
I don't know. If I was to customize it, it's probably going to be business foundation and operations intensive
Okay.
call. So you're clear on what type of call this is. Like, don't play me. Like, you clear, you know,
Yeah.
it tells you right in the title. Like, this is, you know, I'm here to help you with these areas right here. And then in the description, I can elaborate more on what those areas are as far as like what is business foundations, because I think a lot of times they always just assume that it is business plans, but they don't realize that in those business plans are strategy plans, growth plans, team management plans. Those
Yeah.
are part of business plans, but you know, I'm learning, so they're learning too.
Yeah, instead of making an implementation call, specify it a little bit more, biz foundations and operations implementation program, you know, because it's really not just a call. So I will probably take that call off and, you know, make it like a program, like, you know, biz foundations implementation program, intensive implementation intensive, you know, something
Ooh.
like that, you know, just to kind
Like
of
that one.
to beef it up a little bit more so they know that they're not just getting a 3-hour call, because now that once you break it up like this, it's more of a program versus just a one-off, you know, 90-minute call. You know, it's a you know,
Can I
it's
still have it at my
service.
297?
Hmm.
Can I still have it at my 297?
I think that's very low, especially with you
I
having.
mean, can we just start it off to make it,
You could,
you know,
yeah.
where, you know, then you be like, what, for a limited time only, such and such and such, and then
You
she
can.
like, no.
I mean,
Okay, well,
you can
what would
start
you
it
price
off.
it as? Her price was 397, I think.
Her price is $397. So are you like mimicking somebody else's program?
No, this was a fluke. We didn't meet last week. So last week, this is what I had mapped out. And
Okay.
then someone else had found her, and I was cracking up because I was like, great minds think alike. But she does blogging and marketing. She does blogging and marketing. And I was like, so I like the fact of that she had two separate calls, because I was like, okay, it's not a lot. I'm not stuck doing 3 full hours. You can get more, because if you think about it, if I was to open up my calendar where we were able to do this, like they would be able to book Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's 3 calls. That's 3 calls in a week. And they at least have to put deposit down. So,
And this is
I wouldn't do 3 calls.
this is your main service right now. This is your main.
Yes, this is gonna be my only service right now.
So you're no longer in the services business, you're more doing consultations. You know, so you're stepping over into you're stepping over into the consultant role, strategist role versus VA OBM work. So something like this, if this is the only like your main focus, the price tag is going to have to be a little higher. What is your monthly goal budget wise?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was trying to take you what you just said.
Yeah. You're
Ooh,
stepping
as
over.
the tears are coming through to my eyes.
You're
Okay.
stepping over. And consultants, they charge a lot.
They
You know?
do. And okay. I mean, between me and you and whoever else watches this video, I have been told that for the last 3 months that like you do realize you're not a service, you're a consultant. And I mean, I have listened to them. I mean, I've heard them, but I didn't listen. I think today was the first time that I've listened. So it kind of hit a little bit different. Ooh,
Yeah.
um,
But you're doing it. You know, it's not something you're just like, yeah, I think I want to do that, because you're actually doing it. You have a client, which is proof that you can do it. You know, that it's a that you're able to do it. So the thing is, you have to think about what your revenue goal is. So if your revenue goal per
my
month,
revenue goal is I would like to get back to where I was making 5K a month.
okay.
Excuse me.
So if your revenue goal is 5K a month and you are selling these implementation packages at $297,
Okay, I didn't say I did the math on it though.
at $297, because we got to be realistic, you know. Like you said, you started off with how much time can I really give to
Girl, I
people?
would have to do $16 a month. Every
Yeah, you'd have to do 16 clients a month.
Well, technically 17 because it says 16.8, but
Yeah, so
really, you just might as
yeah,
well just round that up to 17.
so you need 17 clients per month. 17 clients per month. You got a good 20 days out of the month, unless you're working on weekends. So we're just doing a 5-day work week. And so you're looking at one client per day.
On top of my current clients. Yeah, no, that's not good.
And then there's overlapping, because some clients are going to do 2 weeks and it may overlap with the client that's just starting their first call. So when you break it down like that, the math isn't mathing unless you have the capacity, which you already told me you didn't. So that's,
Thanks, Mom. Thanks.
yeah.
She's
So
like,
you're looking
you're
looking at clients daily. And if you're trying to get out of the services part, you're basically in the services part, because you're on a call every day for at least
If I
90
get $500, that's at least 10.
Yeah. So, yep. So if you even do, let's say 597, yeah, you need about 9 clients. That's better than 17,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Okay, but if I already have 1,000 in the pocket, and so I technically need an additional 4,000, that means if I do 500, I would only need 8 a month,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't bad, but it's going to take you a minute to get there.
Yeah. That means you have to have consistent marketing so that you're bringing clients in. You have to be on discovery calls constantly to bring those clients into your business.
Well, okay, so this is the steal, because what I'm trying to do is, because I'm going to be in a summit and we get a paid offer, we get to I'm trying to use that leverage to be able to kind of do in the discovery calls, so that I would then be able to offer this.
Okay. So
Because we start marketing for it literally this month. The conference is going to be housed in May. So I already have to market for that. And since I'm already marketing, and everybody on the list, and all the speakers are pretty much marketing the same, we're all marketing to our list. So I have already created a cheat sheet workbook for them to. So first you had steal my SOPs, now it's create my SOPs. So I literally did a brain dump, a sort, and then a simple checklist.
okay.
And so I did a mimic of one. I was working on it as right before I got on the call with you. I'm almost done with it. And so I was, well, because I can't use the same freebie that I already used in the last bundle, because most of them that are coming are from the last bundle. So you got to
Okay.
give them something. So I figured this one it can be free for now. It literally is a brain dump, sort, and a simple guide to create the SOPs, and then a spot for them to go ahead and at least start. And then I think as a bonus, it will be like, if this is too complicated, try this or try that and find a place that, like, because really, they're not going to do it.
So what
But
is this? What is this you're talking about? This is
so I got offered an opportunity to do my first speaking engagement for a summit. So I'm participating in my first like summit where so we have to record a 15 to 30 minute video. You can do a pitch for your freebie.
okay.
And
Are you
so
getting paid for this summit or is it free?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I am not getting paid as a speaker, but I can get paid as an affiliate. So I have an affiliate link. So if they buy it, if they buy the project by using my link, if they go ahead and buy it, I get proceedings from there. So since
Okay.
my topic is SOP, the foundations, my freebie needed to be something similar. So that's why I just created a quick little workbook for the SOP.
So is the workbook
And
done?
then I'm on the last page.
And when is the
I
summit?
can show it. The summit is May 3rd, the first week of May.
Okay. So, and all the people that are at this summit have already gotten your freebie, your last freebie.
Most of them have, because she reached out to me because of my freebie, and she's a blogger.
So,
I mean, I still can use the last one and then offer to create the SOP on my webpage.
you could always offer a free coaching call, free 20-minute coaching call, which behind the scenes in our, us
Okay.
looking at it, it's a discovery call. So you're not necessarily coaching them, but just a play with words. So I'm giving you a free 20, 30-minute, free 20 or 30-minute coaching call on SOPs and business foundations, and that way you can see what their problem is. So it has to be very outlined, very top, very, right here, like don't go over that 20 minutes or don't go over that 30 minutes. Talk
Okay.
about one problem with them. Okay. You can give them a solution without giving them too much of the solution, and then offer your implementation service to them. We can dig deeper into this with my implementation. So get them on a free coaching call, get them on a free, I wouldn't call it a discovery call, people are more attracted.
I was going to say consultation call, so that works.
Yeah, a free coaching call, because it's like, oh, it's free, and then you can provide value for them on that call, and then offer them your implementation. The more free calls you get in, the more you can offer that implementation to them. Because if you have this high goal, this budget, your biggest thing is you're gonna be needing to be on calls so that you can offer this implementation program. Now, you can even do it at, now just take some breaths, okay? With a $5,000 budget per month, these implementation, that's why I said don't call it a call, because this is a program. This is a 5-week program and you want to really specify that this is 5 weeks, this is 6 weeks. So they're not like, I'm paying all this money for 1 day for 3 hours. You have to juice it up a little bit, you know. So this is a implementation service that you're offering for business foundations and operations. $9.97 for the 6 weeks. That gets you 5 clients. All you need is 5 clients per month.
Okay.
At $9.97. And that gives you room to break that down into payment plans if that's too much for them at that time.
Okay.
Okay, we can break it down bi-weekly. You know, how does that sound to you? Or, you know, you could put 500 down now, and then we'll break the other payments up into every 2 weeks or whatever, you know, so you can work with them at your discretion, you know, and that's your, instead of having a lower program, your lower offer is a payment plan. Because this is already a low program, because there's really nothing to it, you know. So if they can't get with this, then their next best thing is to just binge on your free stuff until they can get to this program.
Great, because I ain't got none.
This is your signature program. So this is what you want to, this is what you're providing. This is the service that I provide. You know, and be firm with that. Now, if you can't afford the $9.97, we can work a payment plan. That's always an option. What can you afford right now? And we can work through it. And then you just kind of work through the numbers with them over the phone, you know, and you'd be surprised at, you know, people just, they quick to say, no, I can't do that. But when you throw ideas at them, help let them know I can work with your, you know, your payment plans, how you want to break it up and stuff like that, then they feel less stressed. Like, oh, okay, all right, I can do that.
Right.
That feels better. So never get off the phone like, oh, well, they couldn't afford it. No, they just don't know what the other options are. And then that's why you want to provide that to them. You know,
That makes
and
sense,
by you
because I
them,
think the first person that I had told when I was about to do my business plan, I had told like one of my brothers, like, yeah, I'm charging $800. He was like, okay.
yeah. Right, because you have people that charge $2,500 for a 90-minute strategy call. So $9.97, yes. Yes. So a $9.97 is not far off. And you know, just make sure you're around your ideal client, your ideal target market, the people that can actually afford your services. If you are around a bunch of broke people that, you know, can't afford free, then yeah, you're going to have a hard time getting them to understand the investment piece. They're looking at it as, right, I'm spending money, but they're not. You know, this is something that they're going to be able to use for a lifetime and make more money in their business. So they're investing in their business, they're investing in you, they're investing in themselves. So you have, when you start looking at it that way, $9.97 is going to be just flow off the tip of your tongue. You know, it's not going to be a hard thing. And then you're only working with 5 clients versus
that makes sense. I can handle that.
17 or 8. 8's not bad. You know, if $9.97 seems like a stretch, $5.97 is still.
Oh no, this is when you do one of those. I have 5 seats available.
Yeah.
And like when you first started, no, this is how I realized they stopped saying I'm a beta.
Yeah, don't use
and
beta.
So this
You're
is
not a beta.
And this is where it's like, okay, I'm offering, this is what the normal price is. I'm giving 5 first come, first serve, gets it for $697. Excuse me. And so it's like, and then after a while, it's like, then like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, there's times I looked at my email and I'm like, oh, I missed that. Why I didn't do that? And then it was like, was you really gonna go? And I think for me, what I have realized in my business is the spots where I got where I got the needle moving the most are when I had calls like this with you and Simone Little, where it was literally, because that's what she does. She does the operation audit.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes in, she looks at your business, she asks you about 5 areas in your business, and then at the end she puts together this audit. And from this audit, you have actionable actionable
Actionable, yeah.
steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think with you, we did a similar audit, and it was kind of like I took a step back, I took that time to do not that I wasn't doing the mindset piece, but I needed to be able to not be an employee and like really switch and gear to a business owner, and then eventually I'll pivot to the CEO, because I don't think people realize entrepreneurship and CEO are 2 different things. You could be an entrepreneur, but that does not make you a CEO.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
And so I think that's where people falter, because they feel as though I'm an entrepreneur. And it literally just hit me when I was doing like my pitch, and it was like, entrepreneurs and CEOs are 2 different things. Small business owners and entrepreneurs and CEOs are a totally different thing. Like, I didn't really I did not get it. I did it. And so, you know me, I'm nosy. So I had to research. So once I began to research, it was like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
once
I'm
that
not a CEO
turned
yet. I'm an
on, yeah.
entrepreneur. Okay,
Yeah.
let me get on. So then
But we're trying to get you to that place.
right. But I needed to know that, so then I could grow the mindset, because
Yeah.
I was like, well, why isn't this working? And it's like, because you got to go back to the basics. I think everybody wants to walk, but nobody wants to crawl. Like, these CEOs are not, like, most of them are not telling you that it's real work. Like, the work
They didn't wake up
happens
CEOs, yeah. What you see on social media is
girl, I thought that's what you do.
It's the final, it's like, this is the outcome, this is what I get, but they never tell the back end, the crying, the sleepless nights, the wanting to throw away the business, you know, the stress, you know, the fear, all that stuff. They don't see all that stuff in the background. They just see, you know, oh, I got my nice car and I'm on all these vacations and stuff like that. You know, you see people saying I make $1 million in my business. No, you don't, because you got to pay expenses. Unless you are making $1 million in cash, you still got to pay your assistants, your, you know, marketing, your team, your, you know, the tools and stuff to run the business. So, you know, it's
Yeah,
not,
y'all could
once
have
you
told
get
me
rid of all of that. Yeah.
Y'all could, well,
Once you get
and
rid
that's
of
what I
all of
think I
that.
appreciate, because that's where, when we had that one-on-one, that's where you were like, okay, look, let's get to the real nitty. Let's take off the cute little the glitter, and let's get down to the grunt work. And I was like, hold up, let me go back. I ain't gonna tell her that I'm freaking out on this call. I'm freaking out on this call.
No,
Let me go back to the drawing board on this.
Yeah,
because I
and
think I
sometimes
missed
you
this.
have to. Sometimes you have to, you know, take a step back and think and just be, okay, what do I really want to do? And that was that's the reason why I had you do the whole mission statement. You know, like what, you know, I ask you all the time, what is your budget? You know, because you're like, oh, my budget is $5,000 a month, but I'm only charging $297. Like, okay, let's work through that.
Okay, so
sense.
in all honesty, we will be readjusting the budget, because I will actually sit down this weekend and do my budget, because I really want to know what the true expenses are.
Yes.
And to know what the income is. And I think I have to come to terms that, like, if I'm going to be doing a 90-minute call, that means I need the Zoom to do the 90-minute call. If
mhm,
I don't want to have to, because some people are not comfortable recording. Now that I know Otter joins, that's an expense. Now I have to, I don't like, I got all the shiny objects. Now what shiny objects do I really need versus
mhm.
what can I let go? And I've been dragging my feet, but I guess since you're like the fourth person that asked me that this week, I guess it's time to get into the numbers. And so I
Yeah,
finally created the Excel budget. So that lets me know, like, okay, if this is your signature offer, before you can price it, how much do you have to pay out? So if your system is $1,000 a month, you have to save up for that. Like you can't just be like, oh, we'll figure out how this is gonna, because
yeah,
there's certain months you're not gonna work.
yeah. You're not gonna get those, 5 clients a month. You may only get 3,
Right,
so you have to be realistic when it comes to that. And then it's one thing to say, this is what I want. How are you gonna get it?
right. And
How
I
are you
think
gonna get it?
once I can get to that part, then I think it makes the marketing piece a little bit more easier. Because to me, at this point, it's like, do I want to market to virtual assistants? Because I was thinking of creating a blog, but I'm thinking of, I don't want my blog to be, I don't want a VA blog. I thought about it. Okay, I wanted it in the beginning, but it's like, I don't want a VA blog. They can go and find, if you want to be a VA, you can go and find all the stuff that you need to be a VA.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
And
if you want to be a solution strategist, that ain't gonna happen. You will find the corporate version of it, but you're not gonna find the online version,
mhm. And blogging,
which
I mean, it's not as big as it used to be. People aren't going
right.
around writing blogs, so that to me is not active
What?
marketing. It's good. They can binge on you, they get to know you, but you could do that with an email list and just, write a little short article and email it to your people, because they're already on your list, which means they're already interested. So you can nurture them through your email list.
So my question then to you is, if I was trying to find, okay, so we all know that your girl over here is not social media. I understand I need it, but it's not my favorite. So if I was to do Pinterest, wouldn't I need a blog for the pins to go, or do I just repurpose the pins from from Instagram?
So with Pinterest, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not well versed in Pinterest. So yeah, so I have a Pinterest page, but it is not
I
very
know, that's why I'm like, what?
active.
I be on your
Yeah,
page.
it's not very
Look, I told
active.
you I'm a bona
So
fide stalker.
so it's Pinterest is good if you have more products you're trying to sell, I think, or whatever.
Okay, good to know, because that was gonna be my
Because
next.
it's a
Okay,
visual, click on this link and buy this type thing and stuff. So
okay.
it's more of a visual piece. So, and this was the whole lesson last week. So make sure you go listen to that lesson on
I
landing
said
your
I'm gonna go
client,
back.
identifying your target market, your ideal client. There's a whole worksheet on creating your client avatar, so that you know who you're
Yeah,
looking
I saw
for.
that. I said, oh Jesus, she about to have
Yeah.
me creating a whole. I was like, I was stuck on the name. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I need a name. Let me
I
figure out what
said,
I'm gonna.
don't get stuck on these, because that whole branding piece, it will keep you stuck, and that wasn't the purpose. So now you're at the point now, it's marketing time and landing your client. So it's important to get to that lesson from last week
Okay.
and listen to how to create your ideal client. Who are you looking for? What groups you need to be in? You don't like social media, I get it, but it is an important piece.
Let me rephrase. It's not that I don't like it. I think every time I feel like I learn, like every time I feel like I got it just enough, it goes, and I'm like, I just I just understand. Like right when I got to understand Reels, they were like, "Nope, you want to do something else." I'm like, you know what?
And that's why you
Y'all
gotta
keep
stay
changing the
laser
game on
focused.
me.
It's too much going on. Stick to your platform. So if your ideal clients, once you figure that out, if they're
Okay.
on LinkedIn, then focus on LinkedIn. You don't got to be
Okay.
all over these different places. Focus on LinkedIn. If your ideal
Okay.
client is on Facebook, focus on Facebook. So you want to,
Okay.
because it's the lizard brain. You're all over here like, oh, well, what are they doing over there? And then next thing you know, you're not doing anything. You're too busy. You need to, you need to produce more than you consume. You
Okay.
need to create more than you consume. So if you're too busy looking at what everybody else is doing and they're out there making money or not, and you're not making money at all, so I don't know how you feel about lives. I'm not a big lives person, but I know
I
people
know.
say
I mean, that's
lives.
why I love you. I was like, she's a woman after my own heart.
Yeah,
She
I
does
know
it when she needs to,
when I
and then
need to. Yeah,
she
yeah,
goes back into she's my turtle.
yeah, yeah. But at least getting your content out there on your page, in the Facebook groups, whatever platform you decide to use, and just really getting, hey, I have, this, I have 5 free coaching calls on,
Okay.
business foundations and operations, something along those
Okay.
lines.
That I
And
would
then you put
definitely
your calendar
watch
link
that.
on it.
Listen.
Yeah.
I think I think where I didn't get hung up on any of that. I think I got hung up on my title and what I'm not gonna cry, and what I what I wanted to offer.
Mhm.
I think I got overwhelmed with you have this person telling you to do this, and you have this person telling you to do that, and well, you should do this. And so it wasn't authentic to who I am. And because I didn't, again, I needed a guide to kind of like help me figure out, while I have many years of admin services, I'm not an admin. And I had to be okay with saying that out loud. And I wasn't for a very long time, because everybody was like, I am a great behind the scenes person, but I'm not an admin. I'm gonna be the one that looks into your business. Like I'm the heart. So in one of my clients, I'm the heart. She calls me the heart of the company, because I'm gonna look not only at the blind spots, but I'm gonna look at the strengths and the weaknesses. And I'm like, we could do this better, or we can't. But what I was realizing is I was taking it personal when I had to learn how to take the emotion out of it and realize this is not my business. I can listen to you, and I can help you figure out, like, I can provide you the meal. So if you want to eat the meal or not, I can't take that personal. And see, I was taking it personal. It would hurt my feelings. And then it would even get really, really mad when a coach of theirs would tell them everything I had just got done telling them for the last 3 months. I'm like, we said the same thing.
So
So
it
why do
sounds
we have
like
to come?
you're not stepping into your authority. You are still
Yeah.
acting in a space of secretary. You're still
Yeah.
acting in that space of employee. And that's another mindset thing, stepping into your confidence. I am I'm a strategist. I'm a consultant. I know my stuff. You hired me for my mind, basically. You hired me because you felt that I knew stuff that you didn't. So either you're going to,
And if I didn't
um,
know it, you knew I could get the answer. And that's really what
yeah,
most people realize. It's like, she may not know the answer, but she gonna find it. And if she can't find it, she gonna come back and tell me, I couldn't find it, but can you give me clarification on 1, 2, and 3, and then go back?
Yeah.
So it's like, but I realized I suck on the execution because it's not my love.
Yeah, and that's why you're more so on the business consulting side versus the services. You don't want to be the doing. You don't want to be in the everyday, stuff in their business. So even with coaching and consulting, coaching, you're coaching them, but they got to go do the work, and but with the consulting, you're telling them what to do and they need to go do it.
Oh, okay. Not that part.
You're telling them what to do. And that's what
so there is a
for.
difference between coaching and consulting.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. Thought that
They're
were the same
hiring
thing.
consulting, they're hiring you for strategy, but they're gonna go do it, based off of your recommendation, based off the plan you set for them. So, and that's more of the role you're stepping into. But if you're going to step into that role, you have to, and it's not going to happen overnight, I still struggle with it at times too. Part. Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, but you want to practice every day, be intentional with stepping into your authority. Like, listen, this is what I recommend. Now you can go ask your coach or whatever, and they tell you the same thing, but you're paying me and I'm telling you the exact same stuff. So if you're not going to do what I advise or whatever, then what are you paying me for? You know what I mean? So you don't want a client that's just going to be hard-headed, because that's stressful. That's stressful. And then the hard-headed clients are the ones that want to give you bad testimonials. And it's like, but you didn't do the work. You didn't do what I told you to do. So you're going to have to step into that authority, like, that's like, you hiring a painter for you to paint your home, and True. They're telling you this is what the type of paint that needs to be on this home, on this particular wall, because this wall has certain textures to it, so this paint will work best versus this paint, if we use this and you paint the wall, it's going to bubble up and stuff. And then you're like, well, I'm gonna use that paint over there, but I'm paying you because of your expertise, but I'm still want to do what I want to do, and so you got to look at it that way. You're the expert. And I've been around you long enough to know I feel that you kind of back down a little bit. And
always, girl, always. Not a little bit, always.
Okay, whatever you want,
I have gotten better.
I treat you like an
I think this last time has taught me I've gotten better. So what I have started to do is, this is my recommendation, but this is what I'm willing to do. So like, for example, she's old school. So she wants to do a 2-day conference all day online. Why? Because there's no one doing 2 days conference. Why? Because no one's going to sit. No one has the time at this point. That's the reason why they spread it out over a week. Especially if it's not in person, and especially when you're asking for their Friday and their Saturday. But I understand why she's asking for their Friday and Saturday, because she works during the week, so she can't do it during the week. But then you also have to realize that you're not going to get high. You're not going to get enough of the, I realize I am proactive, they are reactive. So as things arise, they fix. I don't operate like that. I'm like, let's look ahead. So my mind is, we're in Q2, Saturday. We should have already had Q2 planned, or we should have been moving the needle to have it planned. Why don't we have it planned? So that we can execute. So they'll go into Q2 with all these with all these stuff in the air, and then they're like, catch it. And I'm like, And at first I was like, oh, let me catch it. Now I'm like,
And it's important for you to
here's my
keep
recommendation. You don't
that
use my
structure.
recommendation.
Yeah. It's important for you to keep that structure too, and set that boundary in the beginning. Like, okay, this is the timeline. You know, we're working in quarter one. This is when we need to start working towards quarter two by this date. Give them their to-dos. This is what needs to be done. Just like with this client you have now, I need this questionnaire done by Friday at 4 p.m.
Okay.
So you have
Now,
to
my
start
other
giving
question to you
timelines.
is, so in one company, I'm considered an OBM.
Mm-hmm.
So on my website, should I just stick with with what I want to be and not offer OBM services? Or can I offer like OBM services under a solution strategist?
Do you want to be an OBM? Do you want to provide OBM services? You only offer what you want to provide, because if you offer stuff because you think that's what people want, you're not going to be happy.
No.
So only offer what you want.
So in my newsletter, should I show up as the solution strategist then?
That's what you're offering. You have a whole implementation program. So you're a solution strategist, you know.
I'm just scared. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. A little bit of me is scared. Although my website already had put solution strategist on it. I mean, it is what it is. But
I mean, that's, you know.
And I have
so
2 retainer clients, and that was the
pitch.
goal. The goal is to have 2 retainer clients in the OBM realm. They're kind of like the back end, the money that allows for me to like take care of the day-to-day expensive. But what for my business and for me, I want to step in more of the solution strategist, because I really feel like that's what people are looking for. They're looking for not only they sometimes need a coach, and then sometimes you need a coach that's going to rah cheer you on, and then sometimes you need a consultant that's going to say, do it or not. This is your business, but if you don't do it, this is what the outcome is going to be. And sometimes they need that as well.
And that's part of your ideal client, you know. So you're talking about people who, you know, realistically, they don't have a lot of time. So they want to, you know, just tell me what to do and I'll do it, you know. So those are the kind of people that you want to kind of like describe. You know, those are, you know, maybe they're more in those are the CEOs, you know, the really busy people who don't have time to do all that stuff, but they know they need it, you know, but they're willing to implement it. Versus, you know, entrepreneurs who got more time on their hand, they just starting out, so they need more hand holding. So which ones do you want to work with? You know, so work on your ideal client avatar. Work on your ideal.
Because I feel like there's some entrepreneurs that are willing to do the work. They just don't know what work they need to do. Everybody's telling them market, sell, and that's great. But again, if you become like the Oprah, where somebody big says your name, do you have the system and the people set up for that? Whether you are a product or a service, do you have that set up enough that you would be able to handle the influx? And if we're being, I think for me, that's where my head got stuck. I was like, okay, if I got a shout out from someone big in my setup, in my systems, or do I have a workflow, as a process, and in some type of tool in place, that I'm not doing this all manually and stuff is getting lost? And if the answer is no, I need to get that ready, because the moment you get that shot out, you don't want to be lost. Like when I did the bundle, I was like, okay, learned a lot about tech. I was like, oh, watch the videos. Test. Don't ever take your word for it. Test. And then borrow somebody else to test it. I tested it on my side. Did not test it on the client side.
Yeah, you always test and retest and retest, you know, because there's always, and even when you test, there's going to be, you know, something that slips through and it's like, dang, I looked at this 50 times, you know, so give yourself grace at the same time, but still
I
test.
did because I was excited, but it was like, okay, if you would have never did this, then you would have, hold on one moment, my son's school is.
Okay.
This is going to
Everything
be a very
okay?
interesting conversation with his teacher.
Is everything okay?
Parenthood is no joke. So I told the teacher that if he is having an overwhelming day, that he could call.
Yeah.
She lets him call all the time, but you're not teaching him the boundaries. So then, because what she would do is when he was acting, when she couldn't handle it, she would call me. And so when he would come home, he would feel like I was a threat. So she would utilize me as a weapon instead of a tool for support. So you'll just let this boy go to the office, make a phone call, and like none of the adults will like, you literally just dial my number. You guys don't listen to the conversation, nothing. And so normally I'll come and I'll pick him up, but so then I still end up being the bad guy because now you're making it on me to correct the situation
Yeah,
that
they gotta
you
teach
guys
him.
are in.
They got to teach him coping skills, like how
Yeah,
to
that
cope.
ain't gonna
Like you
happen.
can't just keep calling me just because I'm home. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it. I get it. I went through the whole thing with my son and stuff, and it's so much easier. And now they have phones in their rooms, so their classrooms. So
Oh no, they make him walk to the office. So
yeah.
this boy walks to the office, and part of it is my son is autistic, but because he's high functioning, you dismiss his symptoms.
Yeah,
because you
they
don't
want to
see
deal
it.
with it. Yeah.
So you don't realize, like, and he's smart. So you have him doing kindergarten work. Girl, when he tested, he was testing close to a second grade level. What do you think a board kid is gonna do, especially a boy? So then I'm looking like, okay, so that's why for me it was like, while I love some aspects of OBM, I realized I couldn't, like, to be, first of all, OBM, you're fighting a whole lot of people to keep you on, and you never know when they're going to keep you, and you never know when they're going to let you go.
Yeah.
Then I have to justify my hours. So I'm still time tracking, and I have to justify why I'm worth. I was like, okay, do you have the time, the mind band to do all that? And I was like, I ain't got that. So for me, if I have a company that at some point is going to want me to become an employee anyway, for them, or move up with them, that can be kind of like my retainer package. That's the home package. You know, you ain't going nowhere. It'll at least keep the wheels running. But in my business, what do I want to do? And I think I literally went back and watched our video, and I realized I fell in love with, I'm a support person. I have always been a support person. I have always been the friend, the homie, the cheerleader, the rock the one that's gonna tell you the stuff that you don't want to hear, but you're gonna hear it anyway. I love you. But that was a dumb idea, but it wasn't a dumb idea because of this. It was a dumb idea because you didn't want to do the work. Like, I'm gonna be that friend that's gonna tell you a little bit of the truth, but still gonna love you. But I also realized I'm creative. And so I realized that, again, I was doing everything that people were like, oh, you're good at, you're great at, but they weren't my loves. And so I had to go back to what is my love. And so what I really realized, if I'm being honest, I want to be able to help business owners, entrepreneurs, and CEOs for a limited time, get my coin, jump out.
Mhm.
But I think also at some point I want to shop where it's like they can come and get journals and notebooks and stick. I'm a journal knit. Look, I have journals, I have coloring books, I have candles.
And that's
My
stuff you
husband
can
said if I
work
bring one more
on.
mug home, he'll kill me.
Yeah. And
So
it's
I
good
sneak
to
it.
have that stuff, that income when you're sleeping and stuff. You got, you know, can't even think of the word, electronic stuff being sold in the background or whatever. But you want to focus on what's your bread.
No, the shop is later. I just
Yeah.
wanted, I like the shop is third quarter, fourth quarter. I like that's what I want to get to. But I think for now, that's part of the reason why I haven't launched my website, because I want to be very clear and intentional on who my website is. Cute, but I don't think it defines who, like, if you read it, it still doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem clear as far as why it's clear why you should work with me, but it's not clear if you're the one for me.
Yeah, who you're working with. And that, again, that's part of last week's lesson. So
I said do my homework.
yeah, so that's going to be important to, moving forward. You got your pitch, and you got to know, like, who are you looking for and stuff, because your part of your assignment this week is to be getting clients, getting discovery calls.
You asked it too much.
Yeah, discuss. So this is the hustle week, So you figure out, what which platform you're going to be in, different ways on where to find your ideal clients. If you're not so much on social media, you have clients now. It's always good to send them, every so often, feedback emails, like, we've been working for the last 60 days. I would love feedback from you.
That's part of the reason why so I call mine a testimonial survey. So I started to slowly send that out, and I'm waiting for a few more to send them back.
And
We'll
also
see.
ask for referrals, let that be part of your business.
Okay.
Process is asking for referrals from your clients. Hey, I, knock $100 off your package this month. If you can refer me with a client and they sign with me, something along those lines or whatever, for every client that you refer me to, you get $100 or something like that, that signs, not just refer, but they actually got a sign. So you got money coming in from that client. And then, and that can help build up your clientele too, if you're going to do it, use the referral method. You have your chamber of commerce, your local chamber of commerce. If you comfortable going there and kind of meeting with people, or any networking type events that you can go to, where your ideal clients typically are hanging out at. So think of the different ways where you can become visible, because you have to be visible, and at the same time, challenge yourself to post something at least once a day. It doesn't have to be a big long post. Hey, I am coaching. I have the business foundations and operations implementation 5-week program that I'm offering. Let them know, they need to know what you're offering. They need to know that you're selling something.
Wait,
Don't just
every
show up
day
just to
though?
show
How
up.
about 3 times a week? Why we gotta do every day? You be
Because I did 3 times a week with you. You didn't do it.
I know. I sure didn't.
So, we want to speed it up, push you out that comfort zone, push you out the comfort zone. They don't have to be long messages. They can be something quick, a question, and I'm going to put that in the membership site. It's the challenge on getting clients, where to find clients, how to get clients.
Okay, so I will make you a deal. So I only have to post every day. I don't have to do a video.
No. Now it would be nice to do a video. People want to see your face.
You're pushing it. You're pushing it.
People want to see your face, so it'd be nice
You're pushing
to do a
it. You're
video.
pushing it. Pushing it. Pushing it.
Do at least
Pushing.
one video this week. At least one video.
Ooh,
Doesn't have to be live.
Not what we raise the tone.
It doesn't have to be live. You could do a recorded video and post it. So we can start you that way. And you just going up there, you just being yourself. Don't try to be
fine.
You're not.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do this weekend is I'm going to plan all of April, because it doesn't have to be all about my business, right?
No.
Because you know how August is August. April is autism month, and so I will prep all of it for this week.
And you could kind of work that into your business. It's autism month. This is, being the mother of a autistic child, by me, having my business set up properly and stuff, it affords me the opportunity to be able to be there for him when I need him, when he needs me. He's able to call me on the phone anytime he wants to at his school, and I'm available for him.
No, I know what my no. I know what my video is gonna be. It's gonna be the countdown of me graduating. Everybody wants to know that you're investing. Like I'm literally getting an associate in entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
How does that not help me make it?
Find some way to tie that into your business and invite them to a discovery call. Your whole goal this week is to book people on discovery calls. That is your whole focus. Getting discovery calls booked.
Guess I need to set that up in my system.
Client.
Okay. So
that's all your homework is, on top of whatever you didn't do these last few months, the last few weeks.
I'm only 1 week behind. Don't do that.
Okay.
Because it's just me. I be feeling all alone as I'm posting in the group.
I know.
Why is everybody else in the group and I'm all by myself? Okay.
Just falling off, but that again, that shows your determination. You want to get this done. You want to keep moving forward. Just like
I think for now, I'm going to stick with Instagram, partly because I will probably keep Instagram because it ties into my website. So it updates on my website.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna stick with Instagram, and then I think I might add in LinkedIn.
As long as that's where your ideal clients are,
Well, I'm gonna research that first. I'm gonna do the homework and see. But I want to do my social media, at least semi-plan it for the month, as well as my newsletters.
Okay.
Because if blogging is not, I don't think blogging is dead, but I'm debating on, I know that like people want you to blog every week, but I don't have the wherewithal for that. So I think I'm just gonna do a monthly blog and call it a day.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, I wouldn't focus too much on it because your focus now is getting clients, getting
I think my internet went out.
your freezing. Uh-oh. Okay, I said I think it did too. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and shut it down, but yeah,
Okay.
so go ahead and look at the last video, get your client avatar together, and then figure, focus on who you're gonna be pitching to your ideal clients. And then pull up the hustle challenge for this week and follow that challenge on, getting discovery calls booked for your ideal client once you figure out who they are. And
Okay.
that's what you're going to be focused on this week. And
Okay.
use Voxer, use the email group. If you got any questions, if you stressed out or whatever, you're getting discouraged, send me a message, tag me in it. You can inbox me.
On the Facebook group or
In the
the
Facebook group, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's no reason you should be sitting around for a week being stressed and stuck when you part of this program. So that's,
Yes, ma'am.
ask me questions and let's hash it out. So you're not waiting for the next week. Okay.
So we're meeting Tuesday or Thursday?
We're meeting next Thursday.
Okay.
Wait, no, we are not. I'm glad you asked that. My weeks have been crazy. I have surgery next week. So we're going to meet next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
Yeah, next Tuesday. Okay.
Good luck on your surgery.
Thank you. I'll
on
see you
Tuesday.
before then. I'll see you before then.
Okay.
All right, lady. Talk to you later.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.